I recently went to prison for rape. I wasn't convicted, I just went there to get raped. That's not true. I'm actually deathly afraid of the police. I get nervous walking past them. Do you have sometimes like you get those RBTs, random breath tests? I hardly ever drink, but every time I get breath tested by the police, I'm always really nervous that they're going to hear the person screaming in the boot when I go through. So I grew up in a very sort of a Christian household. My mother was very, very devoted to the cause, and it sort of fucked with my head. It still does. But one of the weirdest things was my mother. I'm a bad son, basically. I've very rarely gone to visit my mother. I worked away for a long time, and I spent maybe 6-7 months sometimes without even calling her. The only reason they knew I was alive was my sisters would see on the WhatsApp last seen at this time. So they knew I'm still going. But now that I've come back home, I'm trying to be a really good son, and I'm trying to go and see my mother more and more often. And so I went over there a couple of weekends ago, and they live out in the western suburbs, which is kind of like hell. My mum picked me up, and as she was driving away, she sort of hit the curb as she was driving, and the car sort of jolted a little bit, and she kept driving off. And a police officer was sort of waiting in the wings, just convenient, like they weren't planning on, it wasn't a trap or anything, but they saw her, so they thought, well, someone's being a bit funny, so they stopped her. And obviously the officer was a bit surprised to find a 60-year-old woman behind the wheel, so she wound the window and he was like, is everything all right, ma'am? And she was like, yes, everything is fine. She's got an accent, she's from Egypt. But I'm not a terrorist, don't worry. So she said, yes, everything is fine. He's like, oh, okay. And he said to her, do you mind if I just quickly breathalyze you? And she said, oh, no, I have asthma. And he said, okay, so we'll just need you to, if that's okay, to give a urine sample. And she goes, oh, no, I have catheter bag. And I'm thinking, fuck, this is not true. My mum doesn't have asthma, and she doesn't have a catheter bag. And then he said, well, I'm going to need you to come with me, and we're going to, and she's like, oh, no, officer, I can't, I'm drunk. So yeah, that was my brushing with the law. But I've noticed driving around Sydney, it's very bad because all there are speed traps and police out there. Everywhere you go, they've got these mobile speed cameras that just go there, and it's revenue raising essentially. That's all it is. When I used to live sort of away from, I live in Redfern. I don't even have a car. I get mugged regularly, but I don't have a car. But I used to live out in the suburbs with my parents, and I used to drive to university. And I would go past this school zone, you know, the school zones, and they're all 40 kilometres now. They've got these, this is all over the world now. If you go to the United States, they've got 40 zones there. If you go to, most third world countries don't give a shit. But, all the other ones, were the ones where you can sue, they have these 40 zones. And there's this one on the way to this, past the school at the university, well, not Michigan University. And as you go along, they've got a speed camera there, and it's a variable speed limit camera. This thing knows when it's a school zone and when it's not, and when it is, it's the speed's 40, and when it's not, it's 60. So as I'm driving through there, I'm not keeping my eye on the road. I'm looking at the speedo. So if some little fucker does run out in front of me, I'm not going to see him. Now, if you hit a kid at 60, you hit him and you kill him. If you hit a kid at 40, you hit him and you fuck up the rest of his life. You know? So what they should do is just make it 80 the whole way through. And if a kid gets caught up in it, fuck him. You know? It's worse though because they've got these things out there at the front of high schools now. If you've made it all the way to year 7 and you still don't know how to run out and you shouldn't run out in front of a car, you probably deserve to die. And I think it would stop shows like Teen Mum on television if we implemented that. And it gets worse. There is a school called James Roost in New South Wales. The smartest fucking kids in the state go to this school. And they still have a 40 zone outside the front of there because these fucking geniuses still go, oh, a ball! So next time you're going through these school zones, you do see a kid, like, with a ball that just, give get really close to them and freak the shit out of them, but don't hit them. Unless they're ugly. If they're ugly, it's fine. And you all agree, you're not laughing because you think, oh, it's terrible, but you would do the same. But it's nice to see you out here on a Wednesday night. I must say, all of us have work. Do you all have work tomorrow morning? I imagine you've got work. You're going to be an HR guy, deal with people, touching people at work. How often does that happen? Not often enough? Do you touch people at work? I'm here to test the HR system. Come over here, baby. I was, work it sucks, and I was thinking the other day, does anyone actually enjoy waking up in the morning? And I thought the only people, perhaps, who would really enjoy going to work in the morning are maybe porn stars. Because I can't imagine a porn star waking up on a Monday morning going, oh fuck, I gotta fuck those two blondes today. I'm hungover, I'm not in the mood for it. I call in sick, yeah? I can't make it. Yeah, I've got herpes, man. It's not going to work out. I'll see you later. But I don't know. Do any porn stars here? Do you HR for a porn company? That'd be interesting. How would you deal with sexual harassment in the workplace there on a porn set? You put it in my ass and it was vaginal sex only. Alright, maybe not. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Have a great night. My name is Baxter.
Yeah!